Hello everyone and welcome to today's cryptocurrencies update for Monday, May the 2nd, 2022. When can we see a U-turn so we know things are finally bottoming? That is where we're going to look at today. Those are the low risk, high risk and medium risk levels we're going to watch that will tell us that a turn has taken place. Please apologize my voice. I'm suffering from a cold, so I'm not feeling all too well. Let's first go to the ones that are working really nicely. This is GMT, topped right where I wanted it to top at around 420. That's what I wanted, and that's what we got. Very nice. Doesn't happen all the time. This was the green arrow from last week. Look where we topped. Look where we're going now. This wave 4 should bottom between 2 to 270, with I would say the lower end preferred. If we go below $2, then chances are increasing that we have completed wave 3 to the fullest. And not only that, but that this is already wave 5. It's not my preferred point of view because we haven't completed 5 waves up since the March 9 low. This should be the bottoming zone. This should be the low risk buying zone for a potential last gasp to 5 to 550. Okay, so far so good. This one is working greatly. In case you start to wonder if Elliott wave works, yes, especially in impulses, Elliott wave is the go-to method to analyze where things should top and where things should bottom. I don't think I missed a beat on this one at all. Corrections is a whole different ball game. Corrections are very irregular, very nauseatingly difficult to forecast with lots of whipsaw. Especially if we look at Avalanche corrections of corrections. Look at the price action year to date. This is near impossible to forecast. GMT, very easy to forecast. Can nail every top and bottom almost essentially to the T. Not corrections. This is where we are. And for now, we're breaking down. As anticipated last week, that down remained the preferred view. This is the box from last week. And lower we go, I think we can target the mid-40s for Avalanche. Also because we are in a downtrend. Everything is red. We're below the 250, 20, all those bad things. High risk long entry is now at 65. That was previously support. It's now resistance. Medium risk 72. It's where we start to break above the current downtrend lows that started in early April. And low risk is at 85 when things move back above the 200-day moving average. This is where the U-turn has been completed. Okay, this is the proverbial U-turn I'm looking for. Again, low risk is not equal to no risk. There is no risk. You want no risk, then you should be dead. Then you have absolutely no risk that anything will happen to you because the worst has already happened. That's just life. Moving on, Binance coin broke below 390, trying to kind of resurrect itself. 410 is resistance. Now 390 is resistance. Can target 350. We're right here at 370. So this is moving in 20s. We go below 370, then we go to 350. Okay, this is moving in 20s. Very simple. I still prefer to see this, excuse me, as a wave B of a larger bounce. That is my preferred view, but we need to see the breakout to confirm this. If not, then all of this wave B already completed after about a month of bouncing. And that's then all we simply get. Not the price symmetry I was looking for, but what I prefer to see is, of course, not something that is set in stone and the absolute truth. It's simply based on expectations of, I would say, time symmetry and price symmetry as well. Remember, though, we've done a 38.2% retrace of the entire decline that started a couple of months ago. So technically, we've done enough. So let's see if we can move below 370, because if we can move below 370, then clearly 350 is going to be next, because as we said, this puppy is moving in 20s. Very simple. Above 430 is now needed to target this, okay? So we know exactly where to expect the U-turn, which levels to look at. From a trend is your friend chart, pretty much the same deal. 420 and 470 are the medium risk to low risk entries. The floor is at 360, very close to 350. If we lose it, we can drop as low as 250. Okay, it can go as low as 250. It's not yet on this chart, which is more detailed, but I can already color it in on this chart. 250 gets us all the way back here to about the July lows, okay? Why 250? See this there? Because based on simple symmetry. This is the length of the top there, and then we add that simply on the breakdown, okay? Symmetry from a price perspective is certainly, in my humble opinion, more important than symmetry from a time perspective. I would like to see that type of symmetry timeline, just like we had here, for example. If you look at this box here and then add this box here, you can see it's quite similar to where we top. Those are kind of boxes I look for. But maybe in corrections, I haven't done the math on it yet, it doesn't matter as much because selling pressure is so much higher. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin broke down below this uptrend line that's been in place all year. And I prefer to look lower. Everything is red. The high risk entry is above 4270, medium risk 4500. The U-turn has been completed at 47,700. So we still have some ways to go. I'm not going to go bottom fishing here at all. I want to see each and every subsequent level be taken out before I can say that the U-turn has been completed. So there is going to be a U-turn ahead, but I don't see it even through my front window yet. Zooming in, again, corrections are very nasty to track, especially trade. Look at this mess that we had here. When 2022 started, nobody, including me, had any idea that this is how things would go for the next 2-3 months in 2022. Then we seem to have got a nice impulse lower, a irregular flat, in my humble opinion, wave 2, but then the decline since then has been overlapping. As I said last week and maybe even the week before, if we go below this low, this B wave low here in blue, that opens up the black path. But now the subsequent decline doesn't look like an impulse. So that's a little odd. Welcome to corrections. So this was a good impulse. We nailed the C of 2 target zone right to the upper end in the blue target zone. So that was, again, the easy part. And now it's difficult once again. We're right here at support at about 37,400. And then the subsequent support levels below it and resistance as well. So again, we broke below the B wave level, but then the decline is kind of weird. Maybe it's a nested 1-2-1-2 setup. Don't know yet. It just looks not like an impulse. So we have to let this one play out as well, which is not too bad because we know we're in a downtrend and we haven't crossed any of the low, medium, high risk levels, or high, medium, low, because they're in subsequent increasing order, to even consider going for a nice long entry. The U-turn has not been made, so we'll just let these daily scribbles do their thing. We're not getting too worried about it. It's something that I keep in mind, like, this is weird. Impulse, corrective, not yet an impulse. Okay, weird. Oh well, welcome to corrections. Same here then for Ethereum. Ethereum, of course, kind of plays along the same rules and book as Bitcoin. As I said before, below the low we made here opens the potential path for this impulse. But now we have a path that doesn't look much like an impulse. Weird. But lower it is for now because the trend is not our friend from a long perspective. High risk entry at 3,000, high risk, medium risk, long entry at 3,200, low risk 3,470, maybe now 3,450. Why? Because then we get back above the 200-day moving average, and then we've made the U-turn complete. You can literally see that U-turn, if that's going to happen, from their perspective. There's your U-turn, right? See that? Then we have bottomed, if that's the case. Anything in between, we maybe have bottomed. All right, gets a little more certain. This is very nice. Then we're back above the 200-day. Okay, so that's the clear U-turn path I'm going to look for. U-turn path. And each subsequent, not J, U, each subsequent turn will get us, of course, closer to knowing that the U-turn has been completed, but not there yet. Okay, we'll get there. Don't worry about it. Let's have a look at Luna. What is Luna doing? Well, it is now below its Ichimoku cloud. Last week it was still in it and above it, almost above the 50-day, and now we're breaking below it. So also this trend is your friend chart is deteriorating, and it looks like we have completed a B, and are now in this wave C. So here is the blue box. that shows us where price has been in during this bounce. This is pretty much where we've been in, all right, anywhere between 77 and 97. So that's a 20% drop, if a $20 drop if we go below 77. Where does it get us? Exactly where we wanted it, to around 55-ish. See this? This is the symmetry breakdown. Okay, this is the same length of the box there. So I like it. On the breakdown below 77, I expect to reach 55 to 57 and a half right here in this wave C of 4 targets. I haven't changed anything of this at all. So far, so good. I like it. Remember, markets know where they have been, markets know where they are, and markets know where they want to go. It's just up to us to elucidate where it wants to go. We did the A, we did the B, and then a very faint, miserable failed C. So we got a little bit of the path correct. I really wanted to see it go higher to 105, but this again underscores the in bear markets upside disappoints type of setup. Again, Luna needs to break now above $90 to suggest we are starting to make a U-turn once again. But for now, I like the idea that we're going to break below 77 and then target lower. How about Polygon? Polygon is also disappointing. Look at the trend, full on down. Okay. Zooming in on this, it broke below 125 last week already, and targeted exactly where I thought it would go, $1 and about 5 cents, 2 cents. Why is that? Because that is previous support, as you can see here on the cursor. If we fail to hold this level, we're going to go to 70 cents, which is very important support, because that was here the July level. So support was at 125, is now resistance. Thus, the high risk long entry is now at 125. The medium risk is at 140. As you can see, that was previous support. And the low risk, of course, is at 175. Similar to Ethereum, that is where we will have completed our U-turn. Let me see if I can find the U-turn. There. Right? We were here at the 200-day. Let's say we bottom here and then here. That's your U-turn pattern. Very simple. U-turn pattern. That would be ideal to see that develop, because then we go from the 200-day lower back to the 200-day. Some people might call it a cup and handle pattern at some point, all those good things technical pattern wise. But again, below $1.01 or dollar here, targets 70 cents. That's a 30% haircut, my friends. Nothing to sniff at and nothing you sit through. Okay, one should have exited a long time ago, any longs already, and that's why one has stops in place. If we break back above 125, we can target 140, 175. We don't know yet where we are in this U-turn. Are we here? Are we here? Not yet. So we have to see subsequent moves higher. That will tell us, aha, we've had the curve behind us, and now we can move forward. That remains the same for all of these cryptocurrencies. Super easy, absolutely super easy. Let's not overthink it. Here we have Solana. Solana, I was also looking for this B wave and then a C wave. That was my preferred path, to have a more complex, complicated, longer drawn B wave path. But we might have topped already for all of wave B. Very short, again, just a month and a couple of days versus months and months of decline. Not my preferred path. We've broken below the ideal wave B target zone, which was here, gone way too low. So it is most likely the case that we've topped for the B wave already here. This would then do A wave, the B wave, and we're back, as you can see, below the trend line that has connected all the downside. So a high risk long entry is, in my humble opinion, at $90. Medium risk gets us back above the 50, the 10, the 20-day moving average and the cloud, 110. And of course, lower risk is at 140. That was previously support, as you can see, and it will get us back above the 200-day moving average. But for now, the trend is full on down. So also here, the U-turn will then look something similar like this, right? That's the U-turn pattern. We might try to even move it a little bit this way. I'm going from the 200-day perspective, but it's fine if we go something like this. So for now, the trend remains lower. And it doesn't look like we've bottomed out. We'll know soon enough. And of course, these risk levels go lower with price as well, as price goes lower. Okay, if price goes lower, then the support resistance levels move accordingly. And then we can also change these high risk, low risk, medium risk levels. And of course, with that, know at an earlier stage if this true apex of the U-turn is behind us or not. That's really what we're looking at. Very short, very sweet, very simple. GMT, nice, beautiful impulse pattern higher, doing exactly as I thought it would. I give myself a pat on the back for that one. Avalanche continues to break lower as well. We have no signs of a U-turn in place. So also here, if we want to do the U-turn path, this needs to break, of course, back above the 200-day moving average, right? Something like this. We need to see something like this. If we don't, then we continue lower, and the U-turn might be something like this. And we've simply moved the high risk, low risk, medium risk levels down accordingly. As you can see, I'm moving a little bit away from the Elliott wave count because corrections are so inherently difficult to Elliott wave count. Look at this. Wow, I don't really know if this is even correct. Seems to be correct, but most of the time it's correct in hindsight. So let's just leave it for what it is and know where the weaknesses is of a method versus its strengths. The strength of Elliott wave is truly this, all right? The weakness of Elliott wave is more in trying to determine where we're going to bounce and all those stuff. That is simply because price action is correctively overlapping and all the ABCs are stringing together to more ABCs. Avalanche as well, below 370, opens 350. Can still be the B wave of wave B, but we might drop as low as 250. Remember that 360 is support. Above 420, then I think we can start to suggest there is a U-turn underway. Again, we can have something like this. This is the path we're looking for, back above the 200-day moving average. We don't have it yet, and we can easily go to 250, okay? U-turn path. That is what we're looking for, and we continue to monitor for it, and eventually know when the apex of the turn has been completed. Bitcoin, same as well, broke below the uptrend line. Let's add the U-turn path in this one here as well. And we'll move the low levels for entries down if Bitcoin moves lower as well. Okay, then this one goes, for example, here if we move lower, and here, and then here. And eventually it will be easier and easier for Bitcoin to crack those levels. Right now it has difficulty, the trend is fully down. So trend was easy on a, not easy, was the wave count was easy to interpret, excuse me, for this impulse, and now we seem to kind of fall apart again. So that is where we're falling back to. Elliott wave is very hard in corrective price action. So let's just simply use the trend charts for now and see if we can crack some levels. Same for Ethereum. We broke below the initial potential impulse path lower cutoff, and now we're not so impulsing anymore. Weird. All right, we'll just leave it for now and come back to the Elliott wave once we have more clarity. For now, we have our simple high risk, medium risk, low risk entry levels. We don't even get above the high risk one, so the trend remains lower. Luna, same deal. Below 77, opens 55 to 57.5. MATIC, full on disappointing downtrend. Below $1, 70 cents, and then we can start looking if we maybe get a U-turn. We won't know it until we look in the rearview mirror, but we have the subsequent low risk, medium risk, high risk levels, which we can move lower, and eventually the market can start cracking above them to know the U-turn has been completed. Solana, I was looking for this more complex ABC. I might have to give up on that one and continue to look lower as well for this simple U-turn path, where we also move the high risk, medium risk, low risk levels lower accordingly. For now, they're at 90, 110, 140 respectively. So that's all I have for you guys today. The charts will let you know exactly when the U-turn has been completed. It's coming. We're just not there yet. This is illustrative purposes only, but we'll move our levels to watch down with further downside so that eventually all these cryptocurrencies, or most of them, have a much easier time to crack back above them, so we know the U-turn is completed and a new uptrend has started. Take care, trade safe, see you all on Wednesday. Bye.